we went inside the Great Pyramid, and you climb up, you get into the King's Chamber, and who's in there but Alan Green? Alan Green, who's been my friend and partner for the past 5 years on all of our work we did decrypting Da Vinci's work on Vitruvian Man and several other paintings now that we've done together. He was in there because I had asked him to give a presentation, a special presentation. I didn't know how special it was going to be. I didn't ask him to do it inside the Great Pyramid. I asked him to do it. I thought he was just going to do it at the Mina House and give us a presentation there. First of all, the King's Chamber, nobody presents in this place. It's like, you're looking at a room that's about 35 feet by 17 and a half feet, and you can't fit more than 50 people in there, and 50 people is tight. And plus it's hot, even in winter. It's hot in that room all the time. It's always hot. And plus you've been climbing up to get in there. Well, we walk in, and the first person I see is Alan Green wearing a white tuxedo with a white top hat and white shoes. He started by giving a dialogue of God. He actually played the part of God inside the Great Pyramid, which was hilarious because all of us are sitting there wondering what's going to come next. And it was tied together with music, and it was the history of the world. He's telling the entire history of the world in the Great Pyramid. And all of us are just kind of like, wow. And it was hot, and he had these programs printed that were like laminated somehow so we could use them as fans, thank goodness. But he crushed it. I've never seen a more beautiful, this thing should have been on Broadway. It was God in a dialogue with himself on the entire history of the world. The metaphor being that the one divides itself into the many, into all of us, and creates this experience for all of us to be able to perceive itself through all of our eyes of perception. And it was so beautifully done. And of course, he had all the right music. And there was a moment in his, God soliloquy where the background music was that da 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 da, and everyone starts crying because it was so emotional. Why? The one would create all of this for learning and wisdom, to learn empathy, to learn love. It was one of the most powerful experiences, and I had to sit back. I leaned back against the wall, and I just said to myself, surrender. Surrender to what's coming. So he finished his incredible masterpiece. It was about 45 minutes, and it was amazing. After he finished, and we were all emotional, understanding this whole history of the world, it was the most beautiful thing I think I've ever heard in my whole life. And I've been in there so many times, and of course, I've been in there with singing and everything. I've been in there with toning and Om chanting and prayer and all these sacred moments. I've been in all of those moments. But there was literally a moment, I think we all felt like somehow we had gone into another dimension experience. It was like being in heaven. And I'm not exaggerating. I think for anyone that was there, they would say that. It felt like we were in heaven, surrounded by love, surrounded by our close, close friends. Miracle. It was astounding. Just tremendously beautiful. It was one of the most spiritual experiences I've ever had in my life, if not the most.